Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades, and I am back in effect again, ready to talk about the next episode of Married at First Sight UK Series 8, and we are on episode number 2 in the bag. As I always say before we start, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so when you know I am on and doing videos, and we will get into this right now. So as we know from the other episode, we have 2 couples already married who are Jay and Luke, and Laura and Arthur, and they are now making their way to their honeymoons. So now in this episode we have another 2 couples ready to get married to each other. So at first we're introduced to a woman called Rozz. She is a bit of a farm girl, and she's a bit kooky. She's a bit of a farm girl. I'm not sure if she's the one that came in and said that when she was meeting the girls, saying that she already loved her husband. And I was like, how does that happen? Like, you've not met the person, you don't know their name from anything, but yet you already are in love with your husband. How does that work? Because dang, it was awkward. Let's just put it that way. It was awkward between her and Thomas. Let's just put it that way, because now we already know the experts matched her with Thomas. Thomas was in a bit of an abusive relationship with someone for quite some time, who literally kept on chipping away at his self-esteem and putting him down. So my thing is, as I always say with these shows, like with this show and with Love is Blind, I always say, when you have been through an abusive situation and you've probably had no therapy or any type of talking therapy in regards to that situation, and then to try and change or strategize or manage the feelings that you had and the emotions that you had that need to come out, to stop you from probably putting the same energy into the next person that you meet because of the experiences you had previously. My thing is, unless you really haven't had that work done, you should keep away from these shows. Like, seriously, you should keep away from these shows, because then you then become I see that you then become the toxic one. Like, as things went with Rozz and Thomas, as I said, I'm getting ahead of myself in this episode, but I am just going off the dome and going off in regards to my notes and what I watched. But as I said, between Rozz and Thomas, in terms of her just wanting some type of physical affection. Now, she doesn't mean sex, and she doesn't mean anything leading to sex. All she meant was like a handhold, a hug, because she's quite a tactile person. But when he was saying, oh, we have to get to that point, yeah. Basically, I don't think he's very much attracted to her, and I don't think she's very much attracted to him. So I think that bit is difficult in and of itself at the end of the day. But my thing is, because he's so stuck on what his ex did to him and the number that she did on him, this is how he's now behaving to Rozz. Now, it's not fair that he does that to Rozz at the end of the day, and this is why I say that they need to work on themselves, like do that work with themselves before coming into a show like this, and before expecting a relationship with someone or a marriage with someone. Because if you haven't done that work, then how are you going to be able to put your best foot forward with the person that you truly want to be with? So now we roll to Ella, the beautiful Ella. And as we all know, Ella is trans, and she's transitioned some time ago, and she is a carer for her nan, and she lives with her nan at the same time, and she has a very close relationship with her family. And then we also meet Nathaniel. I think he said that his mum had passed away some time ago, so he doesn't really have that family setting, but he's very close to his friends, and he's the godfather to like the friends' children and stuff like that. Now, all I can say with Ella and Nathaniel, beginning wise, I'm thinking, yeah, good match. Beginning wise, I'm thinking good match, because I think they may get on with each other, they may bounce off each other in regards to that. When Ella was talking about her experiences with dating, that yes, she has dated, but then it's always with guys that literally want to keep her hidden. And what do we call those guys? We call those the DL guys. They are the down low guys, because they find trans women actually absolutely beautiful and do want to be with them, but literally will keep them hidden and keep them a secret, because they don't want people to know, or especially their friends or family to know, that they're dating a trans person. Because in my estimations, if that's the case, then you're not honestly seeing this person that you're dating as a woman, or even as a man, if the case may be. So you have no business dating someone from the trans community, because they are not a wind-up toy that you get to experiment with. And that's all I'm going to say on that bit. Anywho, as we continue, it moves on. So as I've already spoken about in the last episode, Nathaniel is pansexual. Basically, he just wants someone who's a ride or die. He wants to have children. He plans to have children. He just wants that family unit that he hasn't necessarily got as he's got to the adult that he's got to at the end of the day. That's what he's wanting. So I was quite shocked in this episode, because in the first episode you didn't see them do it, but in this episode they're actually now telling their friends and their families that they're getting married to essentially a stranger, and how they then take it. Thomas's mum made me laugh. Like, seriously, Thomas's mum made me laugh, because she didn't give a shit, because Thomas still lives with his mum at the end of the day. So Thomas's mum literally did make me laugh. She asked him if he was an Egypt, and I thought, oh, she's not gonna like it. But then as they do, the cliffhanger happened, came back, and she was kind of happy for him, but she just said that, you know, he's a grown man, he's going to make his own choices, so this is the choice that he wants to go through. It's not going to be a choice that she necessarily would have wanted for him, but at the end of the day, she isn't really going to tell him what to do, because he's a grown man. So you get Rozz explaining to her family, because basically what Rozz wants is what her family have. She wants what her mum and dad has. She wants what her brother and sister have. And she was on the way to getting that with someone. They even went as far as picking out rings. And then he turned around one day and said to her that basically he doesn't want all of this. So basically didn't want her, in essence. He didn't want the goals that she was striding for in regards to a marriage. So he basically walked off and left her, which broke her heart and destroyed her, which it would destroy somebody. But she's picked herself up, and now she is looking for someone to have that relationship, that bond that she wants, that is like the rest of her families, basically. I don't know if the experts got it right with them too, but we'll see if there's any type of change or warm up in that sense. Because as I said, they've seen each other. There was no instant attraction to each other. And even when it came down to the photographs, I was like, oh my Lord. As a photographer, right, you're supposed to try and get these two people, bear in mind it's going to be a lot harder to get that chemistry going because they've only just met, but you're supposed to be able to get them at least be comfortable with each other in order to take these photographs. Not with Thomas and Rozz. That was awkward. That was awkward as hell, like hella awkward. And I would say with the same with Arthur and Laura's wedding photos, that was hella awkward too. But I only think Laura's been an arse at that point, because that's when she found out that, you know, he was a tennis coach, but didn't really know the back history from it, because he was so far from what she actually wanted, even though what she actually wanted doesn't work for her. But hey ho, who am I to say anything about that at the end of the day? But anyway, back to Rozz and Thomas. Hella awkward, even when it came down to a small dip, just a little dip, and she did not trust him enough to dip her, and he kept on saying like, it's okay, I've got you, but she would not let go in order to trust him to dip her. So I don't know what that photo will look like, but I hope to God when they do go to their own flats and stuff, that don't give them that photo to put on the fucking credenza, because that would be hella awful. So then we move to Nathaniel and Ella getting married, and boom, instant attraction straight away from both of them. He thought she was beautiful. She actually said, "Wow, he's sexy." Do you know what I mean? So she was making people laugh, and her personality is quite outgoing. Now, I remember I've said that when we get to the next episodes, but Ella's personality is quite outgoing. She's sparky, she's vivacious, she's all of those things. Whereas Nathaniel is kind of like staid, quiet, not so much in your face, but will give off like little jokes, or when he's excited, be quite in the moment in that sense. And that's where he was when it was the wedding. He was in the moment. So you see Ella take him to one side because they're getting on like a house on fire, like instant attraction. Everything's going well, kind of like how Jay and Luke were getting on. Everything was going well, and I thought, yes, I thought experts have matched them. Experts have done a good job with these two, like really done a good job with these two. So she takes him over to the couch and they have this conversation basically in regards to her being trans. Now, it's taken her a bit to get this out to him, and now he knows something is coming, but he's probably thinking, what the hell is it? Do you know what I mean? So she explains to him that she's trans, but she's fully transitioned in that respect. And he basically said he didn't care because he's pansexual. Yes, he's been with men and women, but at the end of the day, it's where that connection is. That's what he's looking for, a connection with someone, and being able to build upon that connection and get to know them throughout this process as friends, and then build up to where he would wish them to go. He isn't one of those jump all in gung-ho type of people, but he does find her really attractive, and he's sexually attracted to her, that he wants to get to know her more in that sense. Now, I will say from this point, I didn't see there being any trouble in paradise between those two, but the devil is a liar, and we will get to it. We will have that discussion about it. I will say the one thing that I did pick up in terms of Rozz and Thomas's wedding is because Rozz came in on a tractor, because that's her roots, that's who she is, and that's what she wants to be accepted for. She doesn't want that type of rejection. But Thomas's friends were kind of snobbish, like full on snobbish. Oh, she's coming on the back of a tractor. And I don't know if it was a sister or probably sister-in-law turned around and says, oh, it's going to be Meet the Fockers, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be complete opposites in regards to how Thomas and his friends are, and how his mum are, and how he's brought up, to then how Rozz is and interacts with her family, and how she's brought up, and her personal interests and his personal interest is going to be completely different from each other. So this will be about them getting to know each other. But yeah, I didn't necessarily like that friend. And then it's kind of like with Rozz and Thomas at their wedding reception, and they honestly don't talk. They sat there, they didn't talk, like really did not talk to each other. So Rozz did ask him like his journey, his traveling, stuff like that. So he explained to her where he'd been, and he spoke about being in Indonesia, and she was like, where is that? Like, she really had no clue where Indonesia was. And then when he explained it to her and then made, well, you should know where X, Y, and Z is. I can't remember the country it was. She was like, of course I do. And I'm like, my girl, we could all see that you didn't. We could all see that you didn't. Me, myself, I would have said, please don't do geography with me, because I am absolutely crap. I am absolutely crap. I don't even know half the time where my backyard is. So there you go. Don't do geography with me, because I am absolutely crap. And I would have put that forward to him. I wouldn't have sat there looking like a prize plum when that conversation came up, and he's gone, well, you should know X, Y, and everybody knows where is. She was like, of course I do. And I'm like, no, love, we again, as I can say, we see you trying to save face here and not look as uncouth to him as he probably believes you are. But yeah, it just got worse as the night panned on for them too. But then as we see it winding down in terms of Rozz and Thomas, she actually finds out exactly what happened to him with his ex, and how that's made him now going forward interacting with other people, because he didn't necessarily want to date anybody after he'd had that experience with his ex, but he decided what's better than coming on this show and having someone else try and pick someone that could be for you in that sense. And that's why he blindly went with this experiment when he was picked. So you do see Rozz and Thomas then having a laugh and a joke with each other in regards to their failed relationships and how they went, and kind of the insecurities that they both got each from those relationships. And you do see them come together and have a bit of a camaraderie, and that's where you see it relax a little bit, like they went a little bit more relaxed with each other. But as again, we'll see what happens as time goes on. When we flip to Ella and Nathaniel's wedding, again, they're still getting on like a house on fire, and she really wanted him to meet her nan because she couldn't be at the wedding, so she FaceTimed him and they had the chat, and the nan really likes him and he really likes the nan. He thinks she's lovely. And as again, they really can't believe that they've met each other, and they think the experts have done a really, really, really good job. And this is where I am going to end it. Noises outside can't be helped. Hopefully you heard me say this is where I'm going to end it. But as I always say, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so when you know I am back on and doing videos. And I'll be back very soon for the next episode. And the next episode we are going to be looking at is episode 3. See you all in a bit. Peace out.